loser post-holiday party, I inducted Steve Dudzik, who was hosting the party, into the Hall of Fame because he had finally, after 20 years, reached his 500 block of ink. And right behind him, only months later in 2013, Elden Carnahan had also done it. But I had not finished doing the little present that I give each Hall of Fame inductee. Steve was the 8th and Elden the 9th, of compiling all 500 of their inks into a little booklet. So I said, okay, I'm doing Steve's, I'll get that done by the party, and then Elden, you're next. And then I forgot. And then Beverly Sharp, who has now something like 492 inks, I thought maybe I should start on her thing. And I wanted to check what the format was, so I looked up Elden's and I realized I had never finished the book. So I have now finished the book. So this is, in presenting Elden with this, loser with a capital L.
Thank you very
much. It's 100 pages of jokes by Elden Carnahan.
Nothing I can say to top anything in here. You know.
Well, I have some excerpts, but you might know that Elden is basically the founder of the loser community. The Invitational was a contest put out by the Washington Post. You are here not because the Style Invitational is a contest by the Washington Post, but because since the very first year, 1993, Elden got people together from the phone book to have breakfast because he thought maybe there were funny people who would like to know each other. And Elden, because he is used to, or still does, work for a government agency that you never heard of, because it's secret.
They've heard of you.
He's the kind of person who thinks we should keep incredibly detailed statistics about every single person who has ever gotten ink in the Style Invitational. And if you are not aware, at the website NRARS, not ready for the Algonquin Round Table Society, NRARS.org, there is a set of statistics that has the name of every person who has gotten ink in the Style Invitational, an anagram of that person's name, what ink that person has gotten. Was it an honorable mention? Was it a story, a contest suggestion, whatever. Also on that list is the master contest list, a page that has a description and a link to the text of every contest, 1,106 contests. 1,105 contests. So if you're a loser, you're competing against the other losers. It has the current year's competition where people hate each other, competing against each other. All of these things you know Elden for. But you might not know that Elden is really, really funny person. Elden has won the Style Invitational 20 times. He's been a runner-up 53 times.
Whoa.
Out of those 500 inks, and now 500 and something else since we're a year and a half late. And I thought I would just read a small sampling of Elden's humor. One thing that runs through Elden's humor is a biblical theme. Elden was the son of a preacher man, and he went to the Nazarene College, and so he finds a lot to be funny about in there. Not everything, of course, he can do. Scatological at best. Week 42, 1994. Things that are worse than the Washington Redskins. Imagine, we're still 30 years later. Your wife finds out via her father and her boss at the bank that you have again gambled away the Christmas money instead of using it to pay for your underage girlfriend's abortion like the last time you were sober. Week 110, 1995. Product warning labels. The winner. On a cup of McDonald's coffee, allowed to cool before applying to groin area. Week 277, 1998. A hypey but accurate way to sell a work of literature. And the winner. On a dark and stormy night, a misunderstood genius creates life, but it escapes and runs amok. The Book of Genesis. And in the Some Things Never Change department again, week 337, 2000, the winner. Design an icon to replace the 1 to 4 star system for rating things, and then use that to show how they rank by degrees. The winner. What icon is a mushroom cloud? It measures the severity of TV winter weather predictions in Washington. 1 mushroom cloud. Snow is expected to fall. Schools are closed. 4 mushroom clouds. Snow is expected to actually hit the ground. Schools are closed. XXIV, which was the equivalent of 300 and something, don't even ask. 2000, first runner-up. The idea, ruin a great line of film or literature by adding to it. Jesus wept, buckets. XLV, joint legislation, which is when you combine congressmen's names to base a joint legislation based on their names. This is something that we do every other January, including 2015. This one was from 2000. The Dayton-Rogan-Klink Act. The Dayton-Rogan-Klink Act to support lonely, pathetic females.
Dayton-Rogan-Klink.
Right. The Dayton Rogue in Klink. Yeah, this is get you used to the joint legislation contest.
Dating prisoners.
Okay, week CXXXIV. I'm so glad we gave up the Roman numerals. 2002, a funny analogy. Listening to President Bush describe his philosophy of governance is entertaining but unnerving, like watching the Three Stooges juggle vials of smallpox virus. Week 531, this is so Elden. Cynical takes on inspirational sentiments. First runner-up. You can do anything if you want it bad enough. That is why we see so many people who can fly. Okay, week 537. By now we are now into the Empress era. 2004. Take a regular Washington Post story and write an irresponsibly sensationalistic headline for it. Regular headline, U.S. sending 60,000 tons of food to North Korea. Eldon's head. 60 kilotons over Pyongyang. Week 547. Things that an existing brand name would be bad for. BP is a good name for a gas company, but a bad name for a honey company. For week 666, see the work of the devil in everyday items and events, and to sermonize against them. Who is going to win this contest? Without warning, the sun goes black. A hellish howling pervades my being. The very air becomes a sulfurous fume. The earth trembles, and all life that can move flees, slavering with fear. Now that the end has come, the living will envy the dead. Never mind, it's just my neighbor idling his Hummer in the driveway. Week 669, bad advice for visitors to the United States. It's not posted, but in Washington, D.C., there's always free parking on a state avenue if your car has a license plate from that state. They don't publicize that so that Maryland and Virginia avenues don't get too crowded. Week 736, automotive questions that were to make the car guys on NPR crack up. And when they read them out loud on Car Talk, they did crack up. Second place. When I drive into a parking lot and set my car on park, it just sits there, even if there are several empty places very close by. And last, a contest for the lead news story of February 29th, 2032, which I believe was the next time we would have a leap year style invitational on that day. Longtime recluse E. Judeo-Christelvismas Carnahan, 79, was discovered crushed to death in his home under an enormous pile of newspaper clippings, some dating back to the 1990s. Oddly, according to police sources, all were from Sunday editions of the now-defunct Washington Post.